Hello and welcome back to Road Trivia. Now, it'll be pretty apparent pretty quick, but all of the pictures and videos today come from the country of Iceland. We rented a car, we got to road trip around the country, we saw a lot of cool stuff. We were only there for a few days, but it was awesome. Got a ton of great pictures. Hopefully you enjoy them. And the quiz, because this is Road Trivia, the once-a-day road trip trivia quiz. This is the 365-day trivia road trip, day number 6. 21 questions, all from random categories with varying degrees of difficulty. Question 21's at the very end of the video. If you need to stick around for a tiebreaker, thank you for watching. Good luck. And question number 1. The series of novels by Anne Rice called The Vampire Chronicles inspired several movies and even more pop culture references. What was the Australian pop band in the late 1990s who took their name from 1985's The Vampire Lestat and the phrase with which Lestat described the world? The Australian pop band that got their name from the phrase from that book was Savage Garden. Question number 2. Elizabeth Barrett Browning's sonnet number 43 from her collection Sonnets from the Portuguese begins, "How do I love thee?" Complete the first line of that poem by giving the next 5 words. She says, "How do I love thee? Let me count the ways." Question number 3. Radioactive decay is the process by which an unstable atom emits energy as it transforms into another atom. What is the term used for the amount of time it takes for 50% of the atoms in a radioactive sample to decay? That term is half-life. Question number 4. Near the end of this novel, Maria Bolkonskaya marries a cavalry officer named Nikolay, and by the end of what notoriously long novel by Leo Tolstoy does Natasha Rostova marry Pierre Bezukhov? I apologize if I did not pronounce those names correctly. That novel is called War and Peace. Question number 5. What is the title of the 1826 historical novel written by James Fenimore Cooper, in which the traitorous Huron Magua kills Cora Monroe and Uncas, the son of Chingachgook? That Fenimore Cooper novel was The Last of the Mohicans. Question number 6. Johann Strauss Jr. wrote one of these musical pieces titled after the Blue Danube, while another composer wrote one titled after Mephisto. What is this musical form, whose name means to roll or revolve, that is usually performed in 3/4 time signature? The answer is a waltz. Question number 7. Having released albums now in 7 different decades, what is the name of the musician whose first studio album, Empty Sky, was released in June of 1969 and featured the song Skyline Pigeon, which he still used in his live shows over 40 years later? The answer is Elton John. Question number 8. The deepest point in this body of water is known as Calypso Deep. Major cities on this sea include Ajaccio, Palermo, and Beirut, while its largest islands include Cyprus, Crete, Sardinia, and Sicily. The Strait of Gibraltar is the western boundary of what sea between Europe and Africa? That sea is the Mediterranean Sea. Question number 9. What is the name of the Renaissance painting by Sandro Botticelli in which the tidal goddess rides in from the sea on a large shell while an attendant nymph prepares to throw a pink robe over her? That tidal goddess is Venus. That painting is called The Birth of Venus. Question number 10. Which U.S. president said, "The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." That is a very famous quote from John F. Kennedy. All right, halfway done. Pause it if you need to. Add up your scores. See who's winning. See how many points you need to beat them. You got the tiebreaker at the very end of the video. Don't forget. And subscribe to this channel right now. Question number 11. This lowest part of the spine is found below the sacrum and consists of several often fused vertebrae. What is the name for this small triangular bone that can be painfully bruised if you fall too hard on your butt? The answer is your coccyx, or your tailbone. Question number 12. This substance was first proposed in 1934 by Fritz Zwicky to make up for missing mass in the universe. Its non-baryonic variety contains no mass. What is this type of matter in the universe named due to its unobservability? This matter is dark matter. Question 13. Wrongfully sentenced to 2 life sentences for the murder of his wife and her lover, what was the name of the Stephen King character played by Tim Robbins in the 1994 movie adaptation, who eventually escaped from Shawshank Prison with the help of his rock hammer that he got from Red? What is the name of Tim Robbins' character? The answer is Andy Dufresne. Question 14. As of 2023, only 2 movie sequels have ever won the coveted Best Picture Oscar. The second was 2003's Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. What was the title of the 1974 movie that was the first sequel to win the award, doing so at the 1975 Academy Awards? The first sequel to win that award was The Godfather Part 2. Question 15. This figure was the king of Judea when Jesus was born, and despite siding with Antony, he kept his position during the rule of Augustus Caesar. What was the name of this king who ordered the death of all the infants in Bethlehem in an attempt to kill Jesus? From the Christmas story, that king was King Herod. Question 16. Also known as hard coal and black coal, it is a hard, compact variety of coal that has a submetallic luster. What is the name of this type of coal that has the highest carbon content, the fewest impurities, and the highest energy density of all types of coal, and is the highest ranking of coals? The highest ranking of coals is anthracite. Question 17. The legendary founding of this city took place in 753 BC. What was the name of the city that became the center of an empire that dominated the ancient Mediterranean until it declined and fell in the 5th century? The answer is Rome. Question 18. This man died during the collapse of a temple dedicated to Dagon, but by destroying it, he got his revenge on the Philistines. Who was this lover of Delilah who lost his strength after his hair was cut? The answer is Samson. Question 19. On March 30th, 1981, John Hinckley Jr. shot and wounded U.S. President Ronald Reagan in Washington, D.C. in a delusional attempt to impress what popular actress at that time who starred in movies like Taxi Driver, Freaky Friday, and Candle Shoe? He shot the president to try to impress Jodie Foster. And question 20. What was the title of the comedy, Shakespeare's last play that he wrote alone, in which the marooned wizard Prospero frees the sprite Ariel after reconciling with King Alonso and regaining the Duchy of Milan? That Shakespeare play was called The Tempest. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching today's episode of Road Trivia. Remember, we got a new one coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing a road trip pit stop. Episodes 7 and 8 will both be pit stops. Those are going to be like lightning rounds. There's still 21 questions, but the questions come quicker. The answers come faster. It's just a much faster pace of game. We're going to do that on the weekends and then regular quizzes on the weekdays. So subscribe if you're not already. Here's question 21, the tiebreaker. This man's view of history was later termed dialectical materialism. This author of Das Kapital wrote a work with Friedrich Engels that opens with the claim that a specter is haunting Europe and urges, "Workers of the world, unite." Who was this German who co-authored the Communist Manifesto? That fella's name was Karl Marx. All right. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.